Hi there. Thanks for joining me again for part 2 of Idioms with Animals. I hope you're having a great day. So I have 10 more idioms for you today. Remember that the most important thing is for you to review and use in order to remember these idioms so that they become part of your vocabulary, part of your conversations. Okay, so let's look at what I've got for you today. So number 1 is a wild goose chase. When you are on a wild goose chase, you are searching all over the place for something, and you may or may not be able to find it. Let me give you an example. My children wanted a fire pit for our backyard. It's like a little outdoor heater or a little fireplace for the backyard. And I couldn't find one anywhere. I went to Canadian Tire, I went to Home Depot and a lot of different stores in Toronto and Markham, and I just couldn't find anything. Everything was out of stock. But I finally found something this morning online, and it's in my price range, so I was happy and lucky to find it. But boy, did I ever have to look high and low for it. So I was on a wild goose chase to find this fire pit for my children. Let me give you another example. Maybe you are buying a birthday gift for a friend, and maybe this friend is quite picky. They want things a certain color, a certain style. So you go on a wild goose chase trying to find the perfect birthday gift for your friend. You may or may not find it in the end. Hopefully you will. Hopefully you'll be lucky enough to find it. But in the process, you are going on a wild goose chase to find that perfect gift for your friend. So again, you may or may not find it. Hopefully you'll be lucky enough to do it. Number 2, more than one way to skin a cat. When we say that there is more than one way to skin a cat, we're saying that there is more than one way to do something or to accomplish something. Certain things only have one way to do them. Right? There's not many options. But other things, there are different options, different ways that you can try. If one way doesn't work, then you can try something else. So you have a little bit of flexibility of how to accomplish or finish a task. So we say there is more than one way to skin a cat. You have a lot of options of how to get something done. Number 3, like a fish out of water. When you feel like a fish out of water, you feel really uncomfortable in a situation or an environment that you're in. For instance, let's say you started a new job and you're very good at your work, but socially you feel like a fish out of water. Maybe the other folks who work in the office have been working together for so long and they socialize outside of the office. They're really good friends, not just coworkers. But you feel like you just don't fit in with them. Maybe there's a personality problem, or maybe it's just because you're a new employee. But when you feel like you are a fish out of water, you feel really uncomfortable in a situation or an environment. Number 4, ants in your pants. We often refer to a child as having ants in his pants. It means he can't sit still, right? He's always moving, really fidgety. He's really excited all the time. It's hard to get him to sit in one place. So we say, oh, you have ants in your pants. Just sit still. So it's a very excited child, usually a child, who just cannot stay still, is always touching, moving, and it always has a problem, a child who has a problem just staying nice and calm and still for even just a few minutes, right? So we say he has ants in his pants. Number 4, to be mad as a hornet. When somebody is mad as a hornet, they are furious about something or infuriated about something. They're not just mildly mad. But they are like steaming mad about something. So to be mad as a hornet, you are furious, really, really angry about something. Number 6, someone who wouldn't hurt a fly. Someone who wouldn't hurt a fly is somebody who is very gentle, very, very sweet-spirited person, who is very helpful, who wouldn't hurt anyone physically, emotionally, psychologically. They're just a very kind person. So you say, you know, if somebody tells you a story about somebody and you can't believe it, you say, oh my goodness, he wouldn't hurt a fly. I don't believe that story at all. So it's a very kind, very gentle, spirited person. It's a way to describe someone's personality. To be a fly on the wall. You use this when people are having like a private conversation, a private meeting that you are not part of. You are not privy to the meeting. You weren't invited, and you're not part of the conversation, right? It doesn't concern you. Let's say you're at work, or someone's at work, and the boss comes into the area where everyone is working. And the boss says, Susan, I'd like to see you in my office, please. And everybody goes, oh my gosh, is she in trouble? You know? And you have no idea why she's been called into the boss's office. But you say, oh, I wish I were a fly on the wall so that I could hear the conversation between the boss and your coworker. It doesn't concern you. The meeting doesn't concern you. You weren't invited to the meeting, but you're just very curious about what they're talking about and what the problem is. So you'd say, I would love to be a fly on the wall. Like physically a fly on the wall, listening to a private conversation that you are not privy to, that you were not invited to listen to. Number 8, straight from the horse's mouth. When you get information or a story straight from the horse's mouth, you're getting directly from the person who the story is about or who the situation is about. You're not getting it from someone else. You're not getting it, what we say in English, you're not getting it through the grapevine from one person to another person to another person, then to you. That's very indirect, right? So when you get something from the horse's mouth, when you hear something from the horse's mouth, you're getting it directly from the person who it concerns, right? Not through other people or straight from the horse's mouth. Number 9, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We usually use this when we're talking perhaps about older people, men or women, doesn't matter. People who are very set in their ways, who have been doing the same thing the same way for years and years and years, and they're not really open-minded to changing the way that they are doing something. So you say, well, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We're just going to let him do what he wants to do, the way that he wants to do it, or let her do what she wants to do, the way that she wants to do it. Very set in their ways, very comfortable in the way that they have been doing something for years and years and years, and they don't want to change. So you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And number 10, eagle-eyed. When someone is eagle-eyed, they are really observant of details. Even the most minute, the smallest of details. They can pick it out where other people might not notice it. So they're very observant people. To be eagle-eyed it can be a good thing, can be a bad thing perhaps, but it means that you really notice details, and sometimes the smallest of details. You see things that other people don't see. So let's just review from 1 to 10. A wild goose chase. You're searching for something that you may or may not find. Number 2, more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way of doing certain things. Number 3, like a fish out of water, you feel uncomfortable in a situation or an environment. Number 4, if you have ants in your pants, you can't sit still. You're always fidgeting, you're really excited, you're always moving around, and we usually use this when we're referring to children. Number 5, to be mad as a hornet means you are furious about something, really, really angry about something. Number 6, when you're talking about someone who wouldn't hurt a fly, you're talking about a very gentle person, someone who is very sweet and very kind and treats people in a very sweet and gentle way. Number 7, to be a fly on the wall, you want to be listening to a private conversation because you're so curious about what is being said in a meeting or, just a private conversation between people. Number 8, straight from the horse's mouth. You're getting information or a story directly from a person who it concerns. You're not getting it from other people or hearing it through the grapevine. You're getting it straight from the horse's mouth. Number 9, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Older people are set in their ways. They've been doing the same thing for years and years and years. They're not really open-minded to changing the way that they do things. And number 10, again, eagle-eyed. If you are eagle-eyed, you are really observant of the smallest of details. Okay, so that's numbers 1 to 10. That's part 2 of idioms with animals. Next time, we'll do another 10 idioms on a different topic. And I encourage you to remember to review plus use equals remember. So you must be reviewing this information. It's a lot to learn at every lesson, but you can do it if you review, and learn to use these idioms. You will remember them, okay? So thanks so much for joining me again. I'll see you next time. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye. Take care.